This is Pamela Smythe from the University of Waterloo. I'm one of the hosts of Beyond the Bulletin, the podcast of internal communications at the university. We bring you news and views from the U-Waterloo community. Please spread the word that we're on soundcloud.com or wherever you get your podcasts. And now the interview from episode 136 of Beyond the Bulletin, originally broadcast on August 26th, 2022. The wearing of braids has a long history in Black culture. They also serve an important function, but it appears the number of stylists trained to do them is small, non-existent in some communities, and that's a problem, and why Adanna Amechi, a third-year engineering student, created her company, the President Braids. She was one of the winners of the Velocity 5K pitch competition and took home the People's Choice Award. She joined me to discuss her company and the need it addresses. Adanna, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you for having me.
The use of braids in the Black community has a long and interesting history. Can you tell me about it?
Braids have been used in the Black community to signify our identity. It could be our social presence, our marital status, our wealth, power, age, anything. And I would say that it's evolved from its original meaning over the years, because back in the 1600s, the 1500s, it was used to form maps on the heads of the female slaves, especially to show the children and the men the escape routes from their masters at the time. So I would definitely say that it holds an intense significance to us in the Black community, but it has evolved in its meaning to us. But we always remember the roots.
It isn't just fashion or a hairstyle, though they are definitely beautiful for sure and intricate. They serve a practical purpose for the wearer as well. What is that purpose?
Yeah, that's right. They serve as protective styles to our delicate natural hair. Unfortunately, even though our hair was made to defy gravity, our hair is seen as strong. It's seen to embody a bold woman or man. But unfortunately, that's not the truth. It's rather delicate, and because of all the coils, when it's exposed to external forces such as the heat, the rain, the snow, it tends to break. It tends to break down, and it's not strong enough for us to have it styled every single day, either through heat damage from our blow dryers or straighteners, or combing it every day, making sure that we fit into these societal norms of the straight Eurocentric hair type. So what we have been able to do with our braids and these extensions is to form protective styling around our natural hair and make sure to cover it as tightly as possible to keep our hair intact for the time that we're wearing them mostly.
What is it? It's synthetic hair that you braid in?
Yes, so it's made from cankiloin, which is a synthetic material. It's typically prepped before the style is commenced. And prepping usually involves, straightening it out and combing it to avoid knots.
How long have you had your hair in braids?
I think the first time I can clearly recall having my hair in braids, I was in the first grade. And typically it's the younger you are, the simpler the style. It would only be a couple braids, maybe 5 or 6, but unfortunately that didn't mean it would be any less painful. But
painful?
If you do have sensitive scalp, or movable scalp like I do, in the sense that no matter how much force it's exerted on your hair, your scalp tends to move side to side, which is a little painful. And because it's a simpler style, they try to perfect it as much as possible. So what they would do is they would subject you not only to heat damage from the blow dryers at extreme temperatures, so it's easier to braid, because when your hair is at its natural state, it's the most delicate, because you have to comb it to ensure that there are no knots and the braids look seamless. So what they did was that they subjected us to all of that and then started tugging on our hair in order to give us this simple look that was not so simple.
Well, you have beautiful hair. How many braids do you have? Do you know?
I would say 170.
So that's a very intricate style. That must take a long time to do.
Yes, actually, with the President braids, each service typically takes, depending on the style, from 13 to 16 hours to complete. And it's done at one go, where the client unfortunately has to sit down for that long. But we have to stand for that long. But, it's just beauty is pain.
You came to Canada just a couple of years ago from your home country of Nigeria. What happened when you went to book a hair appointment here?
I was pretty naive, 16, 17. I had just come from, like you said, Nigeria, where hair salons were just as you'd see Tim Hortons. There was one on every street. You could never be bothered booking an appointment or anything like that. You would just wake up one morning, decide, I want to do this style. You go to the salon. If they say, oh, we're fully booked for today, fine, you just go next door. I went on Google Maps and I just searched hairstylists near me. I was in Waterloo at that time. I went to the nearest one. I walked in and I was like, hi, I would like to get my hair braided today. And then they're like, oh, sorry, we don't do these styles here. And I thought, okay, that's fine. I went to the next one. Same story, sorry, we don't do these styles here. I did a little research and then I found out that only 1% of the hair salons in Ontario actually do braids. And I thought, oh, that's a problem.
How did you feel when you couldn't find anyone who could do black hair?
I clearly did not know what to do. So I was a little frustrated because it was winter. And I knew if I kept my hair out during winter, it would break. So I came to the decision that since it was going to break anyways, I cut my hair off. And I
had it off?
I was bald from November 8th to January, like after I grew. I was bald from November 8th, 2019. I hated my hair shaved. I kind of felt ugly. I was not a fan of it. And I decided, enough is enough. If no one's going to help me, I'm going to help myself. I set out like the engineer that I am, and I started experimenting on my hair. I was like, I am going to perfect this and do this for myself.
So you're braiding your own hair?
Yes, I
Had
did.
you received instruction?
No, I hadn't, because no one I knew how to braid hair. It was a real struggle. It took me about 6 weeks, I would say, of trial and error to perfect it.
So you created your own company, The President Braids. Tell me about the name. Why is it called The President Braids?
I'm the firstborn in my family, so I was kind of a bossy child. I had, 3 younger siblings. I felt like I could do whatever I wanted. My dad had just created our Netflix account where it was just boring names, our regular names, and I was like, nope, I'm not having this. I logged in one day. I decided that I was the president of the family, so I renamed everyone's names. I put mine as the president, and then I had I think my dad was like the vice president, my mom was like the landlord, and my siblings were citizen 1, 2, 3. And it stuck. Actually, it did stick.
What does the company do?
I would travel from Ottawa to Toronto to Hamilton to Mississauga to Waterloo just to braid people's hair. Although we started off with word of mouth, friend from friend to friend, I decided, since we're becoming a business, we should get a business social media account. And I started off with TikTok. I posted my first video. It got I think 200 views. I was quite pleased, honestly. I posted my second video. We got maybe 500 views. I was seeing the growth. It was there. It was clear. Then I posted my third video, and I think we only got 100 views. I was kind of bummed, but I was like, oh, it's okay. It's only been a couple of days. Let me focus on the services that I have to offer to my clients this week. I woke up and I saw thousands of notifications on my phone from TikTok. I opened the app just to find 150,000 views. Till this day, I cannot understand what caused such a jump in the video because it had already been there. From there, we started getting, because I connected our Instagram account, which is where most of our clients communicate with us currently. Watch out for our website, but okay. I connected our Instagram account and we started getting inquiries. We got up to 800 inquiries, I would think, at that time, of me alone. I keep saying we, but it's only me at that time. So I obviously could not do 800 requests at 16 hours per client. It was not going to happen. I had to turn down more than 70% of those clients. Maybe next time, but keep in touch. I was trying to make sure that I didn't lose them completely. Yeah. So before the pitch competition, we were focusing more on our clients, but through the help of a few of my advisors, I was able to realize that, we were not just a business that was going one way. We were actually solving two problems almost at the same time.
Oh.
We were training stylists and giving them jobs and connecting them to clients. So we were finding the clients for them and finding the stylists or training the stylists. So I would say that's what the President Braids does. It connects clients with trained hairstylists near them. I've serviced over 300 clients in, I would say, 2 years, being a full-time student and full-time co-op worker as well, because I do co-op in engineering. So in my spare time, that is what I focus mostly on, is servicing my clients and making sure that they're happy. We have a little system that ensures that the client always gets whatever they want, which would be in terms of the style of the service.
So take me to the day of the pitch competition.
I will actually take you to the day I applied for the competition. I didn't have any hopes. I just applied, answered the basic questions. And then when I received my email that I had made it to semifinals, that was when things started to get a little more interesting, but I didn't get my hopes up too much. I was tremendous feedback from people I did not think understood what the problem or my solution was. I had the director of that pitch competition come up to me and tell me that, his wife also struggles with the same problems because she's biracial, and, she's had to come up with using eggs and mayo on her hair just in order to get it smooth enough for someone to, attend to her, which is unfortunate. Like, we shouldn't be told, like, your hair's too short, too hard, too rough, not good enough, not fine enough, too coarse. It's kind of like bullying. When I got the email that I had made it to finals, that was when I was super excited. I was like, yes, finally. Something that I'm doing for my company, for my passion, for my dream, for my people, for people that relate to me. When I saw the list of others that had made it to the competition, I was a little discouraged. When I saw the competition, it took me back to a year ago when I had applied for my very first pitch competition. I was the only service business in that competition, and everyone else was product based, and they were mostly deep tech. And 5 out of the 10 of us that applied, they won, and they were all tech. So at that time, I had the notion that my problem was not important. Like, it's not solving like any massive problem like world hunger or peace or anything. So I always thought to never apply anymore to competition because I felt there was no need. They wouldn't understand, or they would prefer more tech-based or more product-based. So when I saw the competition, I was crushed because it just brought me back to that time. And everyone else was, again, product-based or tech, and especially deep tech, robotics. And then hearing about braids, I felt like most people would not be able to relate to my problem. So no matter how hard I tried, I just couldn't get over that notion. But I did wish them well. I expected them to win. I did not even think I had a chance, especially with how nervous I was.
Tell me about when you were listening to they were announcing the winners. What was going on in your mind then?
I was proud of myself for even coming out on that day and being there. And I actually turned to my friend Juliana, who is the founder of Power. She applied as well. I turned to her and I said, "Can we leave?" I just felt like I had already achieved what I wanted to achieve on that day. I didn't think of winning. I just wanted to be a part of the competition. I just wanted to be heard by people, because even if you don't win a competition like that, you still get that brand awareness or that exposure that you need to help you when you're making your solution to any problem that it is. So I felt like I had already achieved what I needed, and I didn't need to be disappointed, or I didn't need to have it heard your problem or your solution's not good enough, or the problem's not an important problem. So I asked her, can we leave? And she was like, no, I don't think so. We should probably just sit. Like, it'll be like everyone would see us leave, and it'll be kind of somehow. So I just sat back on my chair and I just congratulated everyone that they kept calling. I was clapping.
You did win, and you came up on the stage, and it's really a wonderful thing to watch. You were quite emotional. Tell me what was going on in your mind then.
I remember where I started from, and being up on that stage, being congratulated by people for having, this amazing idea. Like, I finally felt heard. I finally felt like this problem is a real problem. And there's potential in solving this problem. I just went home feeling satisfied, and I just thanked all the advisors and all the judges that I had talked to, like, prior to that just helped me, and even the MBET students that also helped me in their masters, that just gave me any hope that, something good could come out of this.
Well, congratulations. What does the future hold for the President Braids?
I was thinking of trying to train people who had interest in hairstyling but weren't exactly sure what to do or what direction to go or how to find customers, just have them be under the President Braids. But then it comes with a lot of challenges, like, where do you even find these people? But then I got the idea that I could reach out to the 99% of hair salons that don't do braids and have them partner with the President Braids for us to train most of their stylists on how to do these braids and connect them with clients near them. So I think that's what we're focusing on right now, as well as the building of our website, thepresidentbraids.ca.
I will write it down and put it in the show notes for this episode so that when it's up and running, people can click on it and they can get in touch with you, Adanna.
Thank you very much, Pamela.
And I hope they do. Any other points you want to make before we say goodbye?
One thing I think this entire experience has taught me is to never give up on your passion. Because once you do give up on your passion, you start to live a mundane life. You start to live a life because of someone else. You start to live in the footsteps of someone else, and you erase slowly who you are and your trace on this earth. So if you wake up one morning and you have this brilliant idea, write it down. The pen never lies. If you keep telling yourself, I'll focus on it, I'll work on it, no. Set some time out and make a plan. Make a little plan. It doesn't have to be anything stressful, anything big. Just make sure you're doing something. There's this thing that I live by. If it takes less than 60 seconds to do, just do it right now. Just do it right now. But yeah, never give up on your passion, guys.
That sounds like a great way to end our conversation. Thank you so much, Adanna. It was such a pleasure talking to you.
Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you for listening to this interview from the Beyond the Bulletin podcast from the University of Waterloo. You will find our archive of full episodes on the University of Waterloo website. Select interviews are also on the university's YouTube channel. Just look for our playlist there. I hope you'll join Brandon Sweet and me for new episodes on Fridays, and please tell your Waterloo connections about us.